Well, good afternoon, everybody. The Getting ready to set up my service mains panel, which is going to be mounted on the outside of the house, and the mast going service to the transformer. It'll be extended above the roof for obvious reasons. So anyway, just doing the prep, very special time, and the uh, had a really good ball game for you guys that watched that. I was real happy to see Kansas City win, and so that was kind of exciting. I made some notes down in the bottom comments of exactly what I'm talking about, but you have to treat the pass-through inverter as transitioning from a service mains center to load centers. And when you do that, you have to remove the bonding screw to isolate the earth grounded grounds. Okay. And the bonding screw on a service panel is mounted to where the neutral and the ground is basically the same thing. In the United States, most residential units and load centers are combined. And so when you treat that bonding wire as neutral slash earth ground, there's no feedback loop that happens. However, do a lot of commercial work, they know to remove those bonding screws on their load panel. And so that's an explanation of what that is. And the NEC calls it a floating neutral and isolated grounds. And when you're hooking up load panels, you've got to do that. So I just wanted to make that explanation clear. The inverter I'm using, be using number 3 AGW stranded wire and for the inputs and outputs, and the isolating the neutral with a number 3 white neutral pass off the service mains. And been preparing this particular installation for all the loads to be balanced. But it's also important to realize that's for generators as well. And that's one of the problems when people try to backfeed a generator off of, say, what they call a suicide plug, off like a dryer. You can get feedback to the generator and burn the generator up. And so it's really important in doing that. I wire both commercial buildings. I wire residential buildings, and I also, wire boats and shore power and those type things. So I have a lot of experience in wiring up generators and wiring up inverters. Although this 15 kW 48 volt inverter in the 48 volt range, don't get me wrong, I've hooked up bigger inverters, okay, with different configurations. But this inverter that I've acquired is the most powerful 48 volt input inverter in the world. I mean, it maxes out what a 48 volt battery system can do safely. And I mean, do the math. You've got constant load input of 15 kW, so the potential amperage at 48 volts is 3 being converted. So you don't play any games. You use 150 millimeter DC inputs off the batteries, and you keep those connections just as short as possible to avoid heat. And then you also have to understand that you have a 45K surge potential for up to 20 seconds, okay? And that's an amazing in itself because that's over 900 amps. So you have to have your system balanced with short connections and the right wire to do that. So not playing games. And, you know, later on I'll be introducing the Mogen system, which is a fuelless generator system that'll get longer life out of my batteries. The batteries that I'm running, should the inverter be running at full capacity, would run the batteries down in about an hour. Okay, there's 1,210 amp hour wet cell batteries, the jar type batteries that are used in telecoms and other places, and the we're going to get the run times slightly more than that with the Mogen dynamo. And as some of you have worked with and are working with now, you know that's a parametric oscillating metronomic system that keeps batteries charged up, and it becomes a battery management system at that point. It's no real secret. This technology has been in plain sight now for many, I mean, well, it's this is old technology, but it's a pressure dynamo to keep the batteries topped off. And after I do this test with my 1.5 kW unit, then I will be able to design the 15 kW metronomic, and which will be slightly more than that. But there's some tests I need to run to make sure that I get those sized right and correct. So anyway, I hope you guys are having fun, because we are. You guys have a great week, and looking forward to seeing what your creations are. And like I said, I'm preparing my service panel to be done, and should be testing February there, and what I'm doing. Won't show exactly the parametric oscillator. I've left enough information out there to where guys are really sharp, but I have found an elegant solution to create dynamos to where the manufacturing rights will be licensed to the full version, but the guys that are out there that have figured out, we are coming up with an open source version to share with the community. And so many people from all over the world are working on that, and we're hopeful to find the most simple, elegant solution for creating your own pressure dynamo. So the Mogen pressure dynamo, as I call it. So anyway, good luck to you. Keep experimenting, keep working, and again, just keep having fun, and I'll see you guys next trip.